Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday morning. The weekend is upon us. First couple of weeks of the baseball season have been done. This is the Bad Diggity Dizzle. Going to be doing this. I'm going to try to do this, like I said, every week as far as the Yankees go. Talk about the week that has been. As we get into the season, we'll talk about trade rumors. We'll talk about, any prospects that come up and whatever. These will only be an hour long. I'm not going to spend all morning on these. It is Saturday. I know people have things to do. So obviously, I'm not going to take up too much time. Hopefully these take off. If not, we're just trying something new here as far as this goes. I love to talk about the Yankees. I love baseball. As most of you know, the Yankees are my favorite team of all the teams that I root for. I've been a fan since 1984, since I was 8 years old. I always said there's something special about going to Yankee Stadium, and I won't ever take that back. Now, the new stadium certainly isn't the old Yankee Stadium, and it never will be. Nothing can replace that, but it is still an absolutely great venue to go to if you are a big baseball fan, never been to the big ballpark in the Bronx. Something that you should experience. There's nothing like it. There's no other place like Yankee Stadium. As far as the Yankees go, they've been off to a really, really, really poor start, to say the least. There's no doubt about it. And again, these only being an hour long, I could talk a long time about each thing. We're just going to try to get through this, and obviously we'll save some stuff, for the future. But the Yankees are 5-8. They lost last night in embarrassing fashion to Tampa Bay, 8-2. They struck out 14 times. They committed 3 errors. This team is not good, guys. It's not a good team. After game one, the way they lost, I said it was going to be a long season. And, of course, you have all the analytical geeks that come out and go, it's early, Baddog. It's early. It's only April. One thing I've never understood from these people that tell me it's early is somehow these people think that the games mean more in September than they do in April. The games mean exactly the same thing. They mean the exact same amount. A win in April is the same as a win in September. Their way of thinking is, there's more time to make it up. And that's true. But here's the difference. If you get off to a good start in April and you go 5-8 in September, it's not a big deal. If you get off to a bad start and you finish strong in September and still don't make the postseason or win the division, what was the point of playing well in September if you were way behind in April? It doesn't make any sense to me. Every game means the same. So I don't like that style of thinking. The saying is you can't win the division in April, but you can lose it in April. This team isn't good. There's no doubt about that. Okay. This team's offense has been hot garbage. And not just this year. I mean, we're talking years. That's why it's not like, Baddog, it's early. No, this has been the same team for 3 years. And as Yogi Berra says, it's getting late early. 5-8 is pathetic. This Yankee team has a batting average of 222. All right, as a combined 222 average. The Yankees don't hit, not consistently. And all these analytical people love to come out and talk, OPS this and OPS that and exit velo and WAR and blah, blah, blah. Giancarlo Stanton hit a rocket 2-run homer last night. Did it mean anything? No, it looks good on the back of his baseball card, but you were down 8-0. Can you hit that 2-run home run when you're down 2-0 or when you're down 3-2? Can you hit it then? Everybody always got on Alex Rodriguez's case saying, he gets a bunch of meaningless stats. A-Rod don't come due in the clutch ever. A-Rod hits his home runs when they're up by 8 or down by 8. But now all of a sudden that seems to be accepted by a lot of Yankee fans. And I don't understand that at all. This Yankee team is infuriating. It pisses me off right now, to say the least. They don't hit, they don't field, they don't pitch. You can say their pitching's pretty good, Baddog. They got a 3.46 ERA, but you take Garrett Cole out of the mix and their ERA is 4.5. It's not good at all. Okay, so there's, like I said, there's so many problems with this Yankee team. It is unbelievable. They're, like I said, they're hitting 222 as a team. That is really pathetic. It's 11th in the AL. Okay, they are 14th in runs scored. They are 13th in hits. They're not even hitting home runs. They're 10th in home runs. And all Aaron Boone keeps saying is, when we start banging, it's going to be good. But see, that's the problem. All you do is bang, and it's inconsistent. You beat up on weak teams and weak pitching, and it makes your numbers look better. But when you play a mediocre team or a good team, you look like you do against Tampa Bay. The Yankees were 33-27 last year. That's bare. And I know last season was kind of strange. I understand that. But they were 33-27. They were 16-4 against Baltimore and Boston, the two worst teams in baseball. They were 17-23 versus everybody else. That's a 40-game sample size. That's a quarter of the season, okay? That's not like that's a tiny sample size. That is a quarter of the season. A quarter of it. So for a quarter of the season, they were 6 games under 500 against teams that were not Baltimore and Boston. And it's the same thing this year. They're 2-1 against Baltimore. They're 3-7 against everybody else. They kick the ball around the infield. They throw the ball all over the place. They're not clutch. They don't hit in big spots, and they haven't for years. It's just the way this team is. They strike out 9 times a game on average. That's pathetic. 9 times a game. You strike out 9 times a game. That is a third of the game where your team does absolutely zero. A third of the game is no production whatsoever. None. That is zero production. A third of the time. So you take all those strikeouts, you're now down to a 6-inning game. So you got to get all your runs in 6 innings. That's pretty bad. The Yankees are 3-8 without Garrett Cole. If it wasn't for Garrett Cole, this team would be pathetic. I mean, it's not good anyway, but it'd be really pathetic without that guy. The Yankees have 4 guys hitting under 200. And it's nothing. Jay Bruce is an absolute train wreck. Guy don't belong in the major leagues. Fits right in with the Yankees, though. Hit 216 last year, but he hits home runs, Baddog. Yeah, home runs are so overrated in baseball. It's not even funny. It's so not funny how overrated a home run is. I'll tell you what, you can put a guy up there that hits 4 home runs, 4 solo home runs. I'd rather have a guy that hits 4 2-run singles over a guy that hits a 470-foot home run with nobody on base down 8-0. Give me a team full of DJ LeMayhews, man. Give me those guys. Okay? This Yankee team is not built the way it used to be. I hate analytics. I believe they've ruined the game of baseball. I understand that they're a useful tool, but your whole team should not be based around analytics. And that is the way players play the game. Players do not play the game fundamentally, especially this Yankee team. They don't. When you're down by 6 runs and teams are shifting on you, bunt the damn ball. You can't hit a 6-run home run, so bunt the ball. Bunt. Learn how to bunt. Learn how to beat the shift. You're a professional baseball player. You make tens of millions of dollars a year. Learn to bunt the ball. Learn to take the ball the other way. Change your stance. Cut down in your swing. Choke up on the bat. Stop trying to hit home runs when you're down 6-0. Aaron Hicks. I can't stand Aaron Hicks. I hate Aaron Hicks. This is our 3rd place hitter. This is a guy who has a career average of 234. He swung at a pitch over his head last night and struck out. He misses tons of games. He's never been completely healthy his entire career, and they hit him in the middle of the freaking lineup. Why? Oh, analytics say to hit him because he's a switch hitter. He stinks. The guy's not clutch. Somebody tried to tell me, oh, he hit a 3-run homer in the ALCS. Big deal. He hit a home run in the 1st inning. The pitching's what won that game. The guy hit 154 in that postseason. And that's what our team is made of. A bunch of guys like that. Bunt the damn ball. Bunt it. Teams, the analytics, they tell you to play here, they tell you to play there. You're a professional baseball player. You should be able to take the ball the other way. All you got to do is have a little effort. But these players are so damn selfish. They just want their stats to look good so they can make all the money. The hell with winning. They don't care about winning. They don't care about playing fundamental baseball. It's 0-2. You got a runner on 3rd base with 1 out. You're down by 1 run. I'm not going to try to cut down on my swing and put that ball in play. No, I'm going to try to take one out of the park and strike out. It's garbage baseball. The Yankees don't play fundamental baseball anymore. And that aggravates me. It aggravates me. I don't like it at all. Okay? I can't stand the way the game is played today. And you can say, oh, you're an old guy, you this, the game's changed. It has changed. It hasn't changed for the better. Just because I'm older doesn't mean I love sports any less. But the fact of the matter is, baseball, the Yankees, and I can't speak for all the other teams, okay, but the Yankees have gotten away from what wins ball games. And that is timely hitting. That is get them on, get them over, get them in. It's good pitching. It's situational hitting. It's intangibles. It's just playing the game the correct way. My man, Josie McFly, always says that the sacrifice fly is the most underrated play in baseball. Sacrifice fly actually goes against your OPS. You know, because granted, you don't get an at bat, but your on-base percentage goes down. So your OPS actually drops. So you look at an OPS and go, oh, that guy stinks. His OPS is low. Yeah, but he has 15 sacrifice flies. More productive than a guy that hits a solo home run when you're down 8-0. Robert, thank you so much for the super chat, man. Really appreciate it. Brilly, as I'm sitting here with my coffee. I am going to do this like a podcast, by the way, so that's why there's no camera. He says, what up, Baddog in the house? Hope you're having a blessed morning. As a Phillies fan, and I feel top to bottom, the Yankees have the best roster in the AL East. But see, that's the thing, Robert. On paper, they do. On paper, you can look at that and go, wow, look at all that talent. You can look at the paychecks and go, wow, look at all that talent. But you don't win the games on paper. You win them on the field. You win them by playing fundamental baseball, by getting timely hitting, by fielding the ball. The most basic things. That's how you do it. It doesn't matter how good our roster is. If we don't produce, you're going to be 5-8. You're going to be that team at the bottom of the AL East. You got to play baseball. You got to play the game the way the game was meant to be played. Do I like all these rule changes? No. I know the Yankees had the first inaugural wild card in the AL. I like it now. Initially, I never liked the wild card. I don't like the double headers being 7 innings. I hate that rule. I hate this. I hate the extra inning rule where the guy starts at second base. I can't stand that. Everything is done to speed up the game of baseball. The game of baseball is not supposed to be sped up, okay? The game of baseball is 9 innings, and that is why it's different than every other game. Because you can't just run to 4 corners of the court. You can't run out the clock. You can't take a knee. You got to get all 27 outs. That's what makes the game of baseball beautiful. If it's too long, don't watch it. I always say, I don't understand this, because a baseball game could take 3 hours, 3.5 hours, and some of them do. Okay? Football games also take 3 hours, 3.5 hours. Why do football games take so long? It's 60 minutes. How does a 60-minute football game take 3.5 hours to play? How come nobody complains about that? Because the plays are fast-paced? The game still takes a long time to play. Rolly, thanks so much, man. Really appreciate it. Excuse me. Brilly, my man. He says, what up, Baddog? I've been waiting on you to talk about the state of the Yankees. It's at the point where it's pathetic. I'm sick of home run hitters. I want players that hit for average. I'm sick of this. You and me both, man. Rolly, you and me both, buddy. And thank you again for the super chat, brother. Brilly, I want players like Karner and LeMahieu's of the freaking world. It's the concern, bro. And let's face it, Judge is not clutch, and we have to talk about it. Oh yeah, we'll get into Aaron Judge. We'll get, like I said, I plan on doing this once a week. So we or like every Saturday. At least I'm going to try to do it every Saturday. We'll do it on Saturdays. It may not be every Saturday. Obviously, you all know I have a wife and a 4-year-old, so may not be able to do every Saturday. But when I do these, it will be Saturday, and I do plan on doing them every week unless something comes up. Let's see, Hot Take Hockey's in the house. What's up, buddy? My main man, Hot Take Hockey. I'll be on that channel on Tuesday, 4/20. Smoking music. That channel Tuesday for the Rangers and the Islanders. You ain't gonna want to miss the collab stream between me and Hot Take Hockey. So sub that channel up if you haven't. One thing I want to talk about is the opener. Here's more analytical BS. The opener. For those of you who don't know what an opener is a guy that's not a starting pitcher that comes into the game to throw 1 or 2 innings. This is the most stupid thing I have ever seen in my life. What is the point of an opener? You know what an opener is? Do you know who your opener is? Your opener is a guy that is in the middle of your bullpen. The underbelly and weakness of any team is mid-relief. They're not good enough to be a starter. You don't trust them at the end of a game with a lead. They're mop-up guys. They're guys that just sit there and eat innings. They're the worst pitchers on your staff. Why the hell would you start them to start a game? And that means you're going to tax your bullpen the entire game. Nick Nelson gives up 2 runs. He's lucky he only gave up 2 runs. He was disgraceful last night. Yankees immediately down 2-0. And when you're not hitting, that puts more pressure on your hitters to produce runs. It is the dumbest thing I've ever heard of in my life is an opener. There is no point to that. As a matter of fact, I can't remember if it wasn't last year. I think it was the second game against the Astros. The Yankees did that stupid thing with an opener and it cost them the game. Or maybe it was last year. I forgot what year it was, where they started with an opener and ended up costing them the game. I hate that. Somebody's asking me why I'm hiding. Bruh, this is a podcast. I'm not hiding. You can see my face in 1,000 videos on my channel. So I'm not hiding. Everybody knows what the hell I look like. My picture's right in the thumbnail. You got a little thing for me or something? Want to see my face? Anyway, as I was saying, the opener is really stupid. Because, again, it just taxes your bullpen, and it's the weakest pitchers on your staff. Why do we need an opener in baseball? Got to give the starters a rest, Baddog. They have innings limits, Baddog. They have innings limits, Baddog. They can't throw 100 pitches. That's the other thing in today's game that really pisses me off. Is this innings limit, this pitch count, these load management days. Got to protect your players, Baddog. They got to be healthy. Did Nolan Ryan have an innings limit or a pitch count? Nolan Ryan pitched 26 years in Major League Baseball. Countless times through almost 400 innings in a year. Did Nolan Ryan ever have Tommy John? Did Bob Gibson have Tommy John? Did Don Drysdale? Did these guys sit there and go, I need a day off. I can't throw 100 pitches. My arm will fall off. The problem is these players are coddled from such a young age that when they actually have to do it, they can't. Their arms can't take it because they're not trained to take it because they are training them sooner and sooner and sooner. Nope, pitch count. Nope, don't want to hurt you. Nope, don't do this. Load management days. So stupid. Your job is to play the game of baseball. They didn't take load management days or days off in the 80s. Did Cal Ripken take a load management day? Did Lou Gehrig? A lot of these guys in the 50s and 60s played a full baseball season, then went and worked a full-time job in the offseason. These players today are so damn spoiled. Load management ruins the game of baseball. Michael Kay talked about it the other day on his show, okay? If you pay, number one, anybody that goes to a game, family of 4, you know it costs a fortune. A lot of families have to save up their money to go to the game, take their kids to a game. You go there to watch your favorite players play. And you come in there and you see half the team is off. That's not fair to the fans at all. Maybe that segment on the Michael Kay show actually made me a big fan of Michael Kay, which I was kind of, on the fence about Michael Kay, but he's absolutely right when he talks about the load management crap. It doesn't protect anybody. How many of these players still get hurt? They have the best training staffs. They have the best workout routines. They got the best nutrition. And every freaking calf strain, oblique, hamstring, these guys aren't any healthier than they were in the 80s. Taking days off ain't helping anybody. Not to mention, Aaron Boone's the best at this. Guy's 3 for 4 with 2 home runs. Give him the day off tomorrow. Don't put that bat up. Don't, whatever you do, Boone, don't put that bat back in the lineup. He actually got hits. Don't stick him back in the lineup. Make sure you give him a freaking day off before the day off so that they can sit for 2 days and get cold. That makes perfect sense. That makes a lot of sense. We got to rest DJ LeMahieu. We got to rest him. We're 12 games into the season and you're resting him. You want to rest the guy in the middle of August? Rest him then. He don't need to be rested at the beginning of April. That's pathetic. I don't understand that. We're 12, 13 games in the season and you're resting guys already? If these guys can't make it through a 162-game season, then they need to find some other line of work. I'm so sick and tired of that. I can't stand it. B-Man, thank you for the super chat, brother. Really, my man. He says, hitting coach needs a pink slip. Yeah, Marcus Tibbs is garbage. How that guy still has a job, B-Man, is beyond me. Because this team does not hit at all. Like I said, their hitting comes against Baltimore. Their hitting comes against the worst teams in the league. And then teams like Tampa Bay, Toronto, not Minnesota per se, but, whatever. Like the Dodgers would kill them. The best teams in baseball are going to own the Yankees. Because these guys are just all or nothing. And how many – they make Michael Wacha look like freaking Randy Johnson or Greg Maddux. Couldn't hit – they struck out 14 times last night against Michael Wacha and company. Michael Wacha. 14 times last night, swinging through mediocre fastballs in the middle of the zone. Because they try to jack everything out of the park and they pull off on everything. Dan D, thanks so much, my man. Really says, remember when people said they'd rather have Judge over Mookie Betts? Dodgers have like 6 guys, 268 or better. Cashman and Boone have to go. Yeah, we can talk about Brian Cashman. Brian Cashman has done a terrible job with the New York Yankees. Terrible. One of the worst GMs in baseball, Brian Cashman. And I'll tell you why. Brian Cashman's been here since 1998. And people could say, oh, look at the 98 Yankees. The Yankees won 3 in a row, 98, 99, 2000. They're the best team in baseball. Brian Cashman, blah, blah, blah. That team was – any Yankee fan that knows Yankee baseball and that lived through that era like I did knows that team was built by Gene Stickmichael and Bob Watson. Cashman did not build that team. Cashman did not get Derek Jeter. Cashman did not have Bernie Williams. Cashman did not bring in Paul O'Neill. Cashman did not have Mariano Rivera, Jorge Posada, Andy Pettitte. Those are not Cashman guys. Cashman didn't bring those guys. And that team was set up for success because of Bob Watson and Gene Michael, not Brian Cashman. Brian Cashman gets here, has an open checkbook, sign whoever you want. They go out and they buy the best players money can buy. The one year that Cashman gets credit for a championship in 2009, they spent $500 million in the offseason signing Teixeira, Burnett, and CC Sabathia. Okay? That's what Cashman has done. One championship in the last 21 years, and this team gets no better. This team was one game away from the World Series in 2017. Then they go out and they get Giancarlo Stanton. They add Garrett Cole. And every year they get farther and farther away from the World Series. Because the team doesn't know how to play baseball. And again, this is the analytical BS that is the New York Yankees with Aaron Boone. Who hires Aaron Boone as a manager? The guy has no managerial experience in his entire life. The guy has one moment in his career, and listen, it's one of the greatest moments of my life, was the walk-off home run against Boston in the 2003 ALCS. The guy sucked the rest of the postseason. I remember him in Game 4 when the Yankees could have taken a stranglehold in the World Series, struck out in the top of the 11th with the bases loaded and 1 out. And the Yankees ended up losing in the bottom of the inning, or the bottom of the 12th. But he had opportunities the entire season, and he sucked. He sucked. And then he tore his ACL playing basketball. The next year we ended up with Alex Rodriguez. Okay? Aaron Boone's done nothing for the Yankees. All the analytical and the fans that don't understand Yankee baseball say, well, he won 103 games. He won a lot of games. He won 24 games for the Yankees. That's the most a manager's ever won his first 2 seasons. I guess if you've grown up in this era, that's what you care about. But I guess if you've gone through what I've gone through when you're an older Yankee fan, you know that there's more than just winning regular season games. It's about the postseason in New York. It's always been about the postseason with the Yankees. This is a team that's won 27 championships. This is a team that's played in 40 World Series. This is the team with the most championships in professional sports history. Some of the greatest players in the history of baseball have played for the New York Yankees. The history is incredibly rich. Fans expect more of the Yankees. This isn't a small market club that has to sit there and draft all of its players, and then they build a team and they become good. If that was the Yankees and they were winning 100 games, then and they were getting better every year and getting closer to the World Series every year, you could live with it. But when you're the Yankees and you're spending over $200 million on your roster and you have the best pitcher in the American League, And you're paying, like I said, you're paying $70 million to Aaron Hicks. You just gave DJ LeMahieu a massive extension. And I love DJ LeMahieu, so don't get me wrong. They needed to re-sign him. You picked up Giancarlo Stanton's ridiculous contract. You're going to have to pay. What are they going to do with Aaron Judge? Are you going to pay Aaron Judge? How much is Aaron Judge going to cost? Is Aaron Judge worth that money? The Yankees aren't a young team either. The Yankees' average age is almost 30 years old. So it's not like this is a young team and say, well, be patient with the bad dog. Be patient. They're young. No, this is a veteran group of players. Aaron Judge ain't young. Aaron Judge is 29 years old. I mean, that's it. Compared to me, that's young. But in the grand scheme of baseball, the guy's in the middle of his prime right now. He's not 24. He's not a kid. He wasn't a kid when he came up to the big leagues. He was in the minors for a long time. Nicolo, thanks so much. Appreciate it, my man. Brilly says the Yankees are the third worst team in Major League Baseball, and Stanton is the biggest waste of money, $50,000 every at bat. Perfect example, Nicolo. Exactly. Giancarlo Stanton is hitting under 200 this year, and he's always hurt too. He had a big postseason last year. I'll give him credit. He did have a big postseason last year, but outside of that, is he worth the $300 million that they picked up? And I never understood why they went out and got Giancarlo Stanton. I've never understood why. The Yankees are full of this type of hitter. That's the problem. If you have two or three of those guys that hit 230 or 225 with 35 home runs, okay, that's fine. You can have a couple, three of those guys on your team. But to have 7 of them on your team, it's ridiculous. Why the Yankees continue to hang on to Gary Sanchez, I can never figure that out either. Gary Sanchez actually got off to a pretty good start this year, but I already know that guy's going to end up hitting 190. He doesn't run. He doesn't hustle. He has a hard time catching the ball. He certainly don't hit. He certainly doesn't hit. But he hits home runs, bad dog. Look at the exit velo. Look at his OPS. Look at his WAR. Look at blah, blah, blah. What I look at is the baseball game. What I look at is a guy up there with second and third and 1 out, striking out, popping the ball straight up in the air. One thing I'll say about Giancarlo Stanton, the only game, and by the way, guys and girls, I am streaming the Yankees and Rays today. I'll be live at like 12:55. I'm gonna end this around 11. I'm gonna go upstairs, hang out with my son for a little bit, and then I'll come down. We're gonna stream the Yankees. No Lakers today, guys. I am going out with my wife and family tonight. We're gonna go out to dinner, and then we're gonna go out. My wife and I need a night out. So no Lakers day. I will be back for the Lakers on Monday though. So sorry about that. I knew that the game was gonna be kind of weird today at 4:30, but no Lakers today. But the Yankees, I am going to do the Yankees today at 12:55. If you guys want to come in and hang out and listen to me rant about the Yankees. But the one game that I did for the Yankees this year, they did lose to Tampa 10-5. But Giancarlo Stanton had one of the best at bats I've seen all year, and that was when they had second and third and 2 outs, and they were down by 2, and all he did was stick his bat out and chop the ball to the right side of the infield where there was not a single fielder, and he drove in 2 runs. I applauded that at bat for 3 innings. And then it was nice that Aaron Hicks ran into one and hit a home run. Fantastic. But the big at bat in that inning to me was Giancarlo Stanton's at bat. And I sit there and I say to myself, Giancarlo, you can do this every time. If you can do it there's no reason. You want the infield to stop shifting on you? You want them to stop shifting? Go against the shift. You don't even need to hit the ball hard. Bunt the ball every time. They're giving you first base. The old adage in baseball was you can't steal first base. They allow you to steal first base now. All you got to do is put the ball down on the other side of the field that they're shifting against. That's all you got to do. And I guarantee if you do that, they will stop shifting on you. I guarantee it. You can say, well, they're protecting against a home run. Who cares? Home runs sometimes are rally killers. They're exciting. They're fun to watch. I love saying, bye, Felicia, this ball is gone. I love that call. But when you constantly have base runners on, even if you're not scoring runs, if you constantly have the pitcher working out of the stretch, you are taxing the pitcher. Hitting a solo home run is not really that big of a deal. Pitcher shakes off and rubs up a new baseball and gets ready to go. But if you constantly have batters on base, it's going to wear the pitcher down more than him giving up a home run. Take what the fielders are giving you and get on base. And I guarantee you they stop shifting. I guarantee it. It's not difficult. They're at this level for a reason. Be difficult for me. I can't hit a baseball. That's why I'm sitting here complaining about it on YouTube. Because I can't do that. Okay? But if I could, if I'm that good, I know these players can hit the ball the other way. All you got to do is move up, move closer to the box. That's it. That's all you got to do. Or just step into the pitch. Don't pull off. Don't open up your stance. Close your stance. Smack the ball the other way. It's not difficult. I mean, like I said, I can't hit a baseball, but I do know if you close your stance, you're going to hit the ball the other way. That's the way the swing is going to be geared. Rolly, thanks so much, man. I appreciate it, brother. Brilly says, you're right. The team was set up by Stick, but you have to give Cash some credit. Now, I hated the Stanton trade. We didn't need him. We shouldn't have let Girardi go, but fans hated Girardi when he was here. Rolly, you're right about Girardi. Girardi, I've never really liked the way anybody's managed a bullpen. I'll be completely honest with you. I didn't like the way Torrey managed it. That happened after Zimmer left, by the way. But yeah, Boone is a terrible manager. Girardi was a hard ass. Girardi was an old school baseball player or an old school coach, old school mentality. Players didn't like Girardi. You know why? Because Girardi was tough on them. Players like to be coddled. Players are sensitive. Players don't like to be criticized. They make too much money. Oh, don't criticize me. Don't get in my face and tell me to hustle. I don't like you. That's why Girardi was fired. But you know what? The Yankees have never gotten close to the World Series than they did with Girardi there. Not since Girardi left. And the other thing that I say all the time, Roldy, look at Gary Sanchez. Look at how good Gary Sanchez was when Girardi was our manager. And look at how piss poor he's been since Girardi left. It is night and day. There's a reason for that. There's a reason that Sanchez became a lazy bum when Aaron Boone became the manager of this team. There's a reason that happened. You don't go from hitting 300 with 33 home runs, missing 6 weeks of the season, and hitting rockets all over the field, and throwing runners out, and being the best hitting catcher in baseball for 2 years, to being one of the worst players you've ever seen in your life when it comes to the plate and looking completely lost. There's a reason that guy went from hitting 290 to 190. There's a reason. And in my opinion, a lot of that has to do with the coach. A lot of it has to do with the coach. It's a fact. And that's a big thing. Aaron Boone, not a good manager. I've never liked Aaron Boone. I've never understood the hire. Aaron Boone to me is just a puppet. I don't think Aaron Boone really does manage a lot of it. I think all the stuff comes from the front office. And I can tell you right now, when George Steinbrenner sent down orders, it wasn't about analytics. George Steinbrenner is rolling over in his grave right now, seeing how bad this team is, seeing that this team is not made up of ball players. It's made up of prima donnas. The Yankees are soft. They're soft. They're not the tough-nosed ball players that they were in the middle 90s, in the late 90s. They had kangaroo courts. If a pitcher was 0-2 on a batter and he gave up a walk or a hit, that pitcher got fined. If you didn't get a runner in from third, and they weren't big fines. The organization didn't do this, by the way, guys. The players did this. They had a little kangaroo court. I think they donated the money to charity, but you might get fined $1,000. It's not the money, it's the principle. If you didn't get a runner in from third base with less than 2 outs, you got fined. That's the way they played. Guys like Jorge Posada, guys like Tino Martinez, guys, I don't know about Paul O'Neill, but guys like Tino, guys like Jorge Posada, guys like Scott Brocious, they'd get in your face. And they would let you know. If you didn't hustle, they would tell you that's not the way we do things here. The players took accountability for their own actions. That's not how we do it here with the Yankees. That's not how we play here. Somewhere this all started to fade away once those guys left, because, again, the players are too soft. But guys like Jorge Posada, guys like Tino, there's no way they would put up with this. Paul O'Neill was pure grit. Paul O'Neill would make an out. Paul O'Neill would scold the ball. He would hit an absolute rocket to the right fielder and make an out and get pissed off. He wasn't happy that, hey, I took a good swing at that and I hit a rope. He was mad that he didn't get a hit. I want those kind of ball players on my team. I want players that are mad when they fail. I don't want ball players that just sit back and take a big strikeout with a runner on third and just go back and sit on the bench like nothing happened, chew some sunflower seeds. And good. Yeah, well, look at me, man. I'm wearing the Yankee pinstripes and I'm making $300 million and life is good. I don't give a damn about this team. I don't give a damn about my paycheck. Say Yankee baseball. Some of these guys are a disgrace to the pinstripes. Aaron Hicks is one of them. How do you give Aaron Hicks 7 years? How do you give Aaron Hicks a 7-year deal? Because he beat up David Price the year before they gave him that contract? Because he killed Boston Red Sox pitching? That's how you get a contract with the Yankees. Beat Boston. Beat Boston. We'll give you a deal. It's ridiculous. Just like Brian Cashman. So desperate because Boston started to turn things around and win World Series and the Yankees didn't. Let me take all the Boston players. Let me get every Red Sox over here. No, that's not how it works. It's not how it works. Dan, thanks so much, man. Appreciate it, brother. Really says everyone been regressing under Boone. Sanchez especially. By the way, these are the first 2 super chats I've ever gave. You are the man. Dan, I really appreciate that, brother. Thank you, my man. But how can I be the man? You the man. I really appreciate it, Dan, though. Thank you. I know you're a big Yankee fan. Like I said, I appreciate the 135 and a chat. This is something that I kind of want to grow as we go along. And I know that there's a lot of Yankee fans out there. And again, I said that I wanted to do more Yankee content, on my channel. And, I think this would be just a fun way to either celebrate what the Yankees are doing or vent or whatever's going on. And I know that a lot of you guys and girls feel the same way I do about the Yankees. I love the Yankees. I love the Giants. I love my teams. I love the Knicks, even though people don't want to believe that, but that is what it is. I don't really care. People are entitled to their own opinion. I know where my fandom lies. That's all. That's really all I care about. I love my teams. And I'm passionate about my teams. And I've always said this on my channel. I'll continue to say it. I am not an analyst. I am not trying to be on ESPN. I'm not trying to be politically correct. I'm not trying to kiss somebody's ass. I'm not worried about somebody's not going to like my opinion because I have a strong opinion about it. That's not me. I'm a fan. That's all I am. My channel is a fan's channel. I don't try to analyze stuff. I just tell you what I think. I give you my opinion. And that's pretty much it. It worked for Mike Francesa. People don't like Mike Francesa. People don't like Chris Mad Dog Russo. I always say, hey, I grew up on Mike and the Mad Dog. And I am a combination of Mike Francesa and Chris Russo. I absolutely am a combination of those guys. Number one, I'm an Italian New Yorker, so that's going to be part of my personality regardless. But that's why I think I always, understood, or that's why I really appreciated Mike and the Mad Dog, because I always felt like my personality was a combination of those guys. I will go on. I mean, Francesa has some great rants. Chris Mad Dog, he's just off the chain. My name, Bad Dog, does not come from Mad Dog Russo, by the way, although people think that's not the case, but that's a different story. And most of you guys know why I'm called Bad Dog anyway. But, I'm not arrogant like Francesa. I certainly can admit when I'm wrong, and I'm wrong a lot. But I'm certainly not wrong about this Yankee team. This Yankee team needs to get better. This Yankee team needs to start playing baseball. No, Waterfly, I'm not eating. I'm just off this. I'm going to be off camera. I'm going to be off camera all these. This is like a podcast type of thing. This is only an hour long. It's like I said, this is just going to be like a little radio show. This is kind of what I wanted to do with the Yankees thing. I'm going to be live for the Yankees Day. You can see my beautiful face. You all know what I look like. I'm a gorgeous human being. So, it's, man, the Mike and the Mad Dog song is legendary. So there's no doubt about that. But no, I'm not eating. I'm just going to be off camera for these. Like I said, it's only an hour. So, Rolly, thanks so much, man. I appreciate it, brother. Billy says Baddog does 90s lineups for full 300 batters. There's a lot of young fans in here that think home runs are everything, but it's not. Give a player that hits for average, steals bases, hits and runs, etc. Exactly, Rolly. Exactly. This is why analytics are terrible. Because analytics tell you don't bunt. Analytics say don't give away outs. So stop stealing bases because you could give away an out on the base path. Don't bunt because bunting is giving up. Who cares if you're down by 1 run? See, it doesn't make any sense to me. Depending on where you are, anytime that, like I said, I hate this extra innings rule. I can't stand putting a guy on second. I hate that rule. When you're batting in the top of whatever inning it is, the top of the 10th, and you have a guy on second with nobody out, I don't give a damn what position you're batting. I don't care. Bunt the ball. Get the guy to third with 1 out. That's baseball. That's baseball. Bunt the guy over. That's baseball. It's pure and simple. Get him on, get him over, get him in. Well, you have a gift. The guy's already on second base. Bunt the ball. Get him to third. And then the next guy, his job is to get the guy in. One way or the other. That's baseball. That's baseball. Everybody should be bunting in that situation. Don't give me, you're giving away outs. I don't give a damn about that. You're giving away outs when you strike out and you don't try to make contact with the ball and you're sitting there swinging for the fences on 0-2 when you're down 6-0 in the 7th inning. That's giving away an out. That's giving away an out. Especially when teams are shifting on you. It's so easy to just put the ball down. You're a professional hitter. Batting average is important. I remember, I'll never forget this. It was Cushman. Don't see Cushman anymore. Told me RBIs were overrated. I almost had an aneurysm. RBIs are one of the most important statistic in baseball. Now, like every other stat, they can be skewed. Statistics can be skewed. But the whole point of baseball is to score runs. How the hell is an RBI overrated? It is important to drive in runs. That's how you win games. Important statistics. On-base percentage is important. Means you're doing your job. That's an important statistic. To hell with OPS. And all OPS is, for those of you who don't know, and I'm sure most of you do, that's just your slugging percentage added to your on-base percentage. I don't care about your slugging percentage. Slugging percentage is, for those of you who don't know how that's calculated, that's your total amount of bases into your at-bats. Like your batting average is the amount of hits divided by the number of your at-bats. Your slugging percentage is the number of total bases divided by your at-bats. So let's just put it this way. If you go 1 for 4 with a single, your average is 250. Or I'm sorry, if you go 1 for 4 with a double, your average is 250 because you got 1 hit and 4 at-bats. Your slugging percentage is 500 because you got 2 bases and 4 at-bats. I don't care about your slugging percentage. Did Paul O'Neill have a great slugging percentage? Was Paul O'Neill hitting home run after home run after home run? No. Paul O'Neill batted between 310 and 320 most years, or between 300 and 320 most years. He hit maybe 18 to 24 home runs. But you know what Paul O'Neill did every year? Drive in 100 runs! Every year he drove in 18 home runs, 116 RBIs. Give me that guy all day over 169 with 29 home runs and 57 driven in. Give me Paul O'Neill any day over these guys that they have on the field right now. Any day. Aggie, thanks so much. Appreciate it. Brilly, he says, I don't think the Yankees will win another World Series until Boone, Cashman are out. P.S. Gary will never be scary. He's only scary to us Yankee fans. Agni, he's only scary to us Yankee fans. That's it. He scares me when he comes up to the plate in a big spot. Jay, thanks so much. Appreciate it. Brilly, he says, believe it or not, Ruth stole home multiple times. Mantle laid down drag bunts, beating out those the first. Whitey, Catfish, Gidry went 9. Enough said. completely agree, Jay. I completely agree. Like I said earlier, I don't know if you were here earlier, Jay, I can't stand these pitch counts, these innings limits, these load management days off, trying to keep your players healthy. There are more Tommy John surgeries now than there ever have been before. So why is that the case? If you're really saving their arms, why are there all these Tommy John surgeries? If that's the case, if innings limits and pitch counts are saving arms, why is everybody having Tommy John surgery? Why is everybody tearing their elbow up? Why? It can't be because they're pitching too much. I remember when they used to have 4-man rotations. You'll never see another pitcher win 300 games. That'll never happen again. It's ridiculous. Guys like Gerrit Cole, guys like Jake DeGrom, it's not because they don't want to finish the game. Those guys are gamers. By the way, I saw somebody mention Jake DeGrom in here, Mets fan. I love Jake DeGrom. Jake DeGrom is one of my favorite players in baseball. I feel bad for Jake DeGrom. Jake DeGrom deserves more. Now, the Mets aren't playing bad, okay? And for the record, I don't hate the Mets. I know Mets fans don't like the Yankees. I understand that, and I don't care. You Mets fans can get mad at this. That's a little jealousy on the Mets fans' part. It's a little jealousy. The Mets ain't won anything since '86. A lot of Mets fans didn't see them win anything. They saw the Yankees succeed a lot in the '90s. I get that. I don't hate the Mets. I root for the Mets when the Yankees aren't there. I like the Mets. I've never had a problem with the Mets. I love Jake DeGrom. Jake DeGrom should be a 20-game winner. Jake DeGrom is the man. People ask me who's better between Cole and DeGrom. I'll tell you DeGrom is better than Cole 7 days a week, twice on Sunday. I love Jake DeGrom. But those type of guys, they want to go 9 innings. They want to finish the game. They want to finish what they started. I like those type of pitchers. I want those type of guys on my ball club. Subo, thanks so much. Appreciate it. Really says, I hate Cora and Cash, but I have to admit they are stronger managers than Boone. They have little Billy Martin and them. Big advantage for them. Yeah, you know what the Rays do? The Rays play baseball. The game that I streamed, and again, I'll be again, anybody just coming in here now, I'll be live in a couple hours, about 12:50, 12:55 for the Yankees and the Rays. We're gonna stream that game today. No Lakers today. I'm gonna be out this evening, so Lakers play at 4:30. I'm not gonna be able to make it. Like I said, my wife and I just need a night out with some friends and family because I think we've earned that. We both work very hard, so we're gonna go out tonight. But I'll definitely be back for the Lakers on Monday. But I am doing the Yankee game this afternoon. But yeah, it's. I said it the first game against Tampa. If you watch Tampa Bay, if you watch what they did to Yankee pitching, they continued to fight pitches off. They didn't just swing wildly for the fences and strike themselves out. They fouled pitches off, fouled them off, fouled them off, fouled them off, put the ball in play. That's what teams are supposed to do. That's what Brett Gardner does. Brett Gardner's an old school throwback. Is he what he used to be? No. But I will take a ball club full of Brett Gardners every day of the week over a ball club of Aaron Judges. That's a fact. I will take that gritty, hard-nosed, tough, grimy baseball player over Aaron Judge any day of the week. I want a team full of DJ LeMayus. I want a team full of Brett Gardners. I wanted a team full of Jorge Posadas and Derek Jeters and Mariano Rivera's. I wanted those guys on my team. Bernie Williams. Guys that grinded out at bats. Guys that worked the pitch count. Guys that fouled pitches off. Guys that were nuisances at the plate. And even if those guys didn't get a hit or ultimately ended up striking out after a 9 or 10 pitch at bat, you tax the pitcher, that helps you out later in the game. These are things that don't show up in the box score. That's the intangibles that I talk about. Tampa Bay in that series against us last year and against the Yankees, you will watch the way they hit. They hit the ball the other way. They foul off pitches. They play the game correctly. That is why they own us, because they do it the way it's supposed to be played, not just swinging for the fences the entire time. Home runs are nice. Home runs are fun. Home runs don't necessarily win you the game. They don't. Consistent at bats, big hits, situational hitting, moving runners over, sacrificing, hitting the ball where it's pitched. Those win ball games. Fielding the baseball. wins ball games. Exhorter, thanks so much. I appreciate it. Really, really, my man. He says the birds are singing, the fish are jumping. It's going to be a wonderful day. Go Baddog. I appreciate that, Exhorter. I appreciate it. And the weather's kind of crappy over here, man. We are we're not out in California. It's dreary. It's about 50 degrees. It's a typical like I can't complain about the weather though, man. The weather was really, really good on my vacation. It was in the high 60s, low 70s, and sunny pretty much the entire 2 weeks. When we went up to Lake George on last Monday, early April was a crapshoot. It was in the low 60s and sunny. It was gorgeous. It was gorgeous. But yeah, today it's not good. Why is my camera off, Edward? Because this is going to be like a podcast type of thing. So every week I just plan on having it off. I just kind of consider this like a radio broadcast. That's kind of what I want to do. Is just consider it a radio broadcast. But here you go. Hello. So I am here, and I mean, you can say I am dressed. I got my Yankee hat on. We're ready to go. But yeah, we're just gonna keep it like this. Rolly, thanks so much, man. I appreciate it. Brilly. He says Paul would have 18 homers, 135 RBIs, average 312. Tino, 34 homers, 125 RBIs, hitting 297. Bernie, 36, 130, hitting 325. Common denominator is they hit for average and drive in frickin' runs. I'm getting sick of this. Rolly, you and I are related. We know that. Somehow you and I are related. There's no doubt about that. But that is the thing. The common denominator is they put the ball in play. You put the ball in play, things are going to happen. Nothing happens from a strikeout. Nothing. As I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, the Yankees strike out 9 times a game. That is 3 full innings where they do absolutely nothing. 3 full innings. Now, Mickey Mantle struck out a lot in his day. Mickey Mantle was also would have been a career 300 hitter had he not hung on the last 2 years when the guy could barely walk, let alone play baseball. If Mickey Mantle did not play in 1968 and 1969, or he didn't play in 69, in 1967 and 68, or did he play in 69? He didn't play in 69. If he didn't play the last 3 years of his career, 68, 67, 68, 69, he would have been a 300 hitter. Okay? So Mickey Mantle still hit 300, even though he struck out a lot. Reggie Jackson struck out a lot too. Reggie Jackson also performed in the biggest stages there was. Reggie Jackson came through when it mattered most. So I can take a striking. I got no problem with people striking out. You're going to strike out. It's part of baseball. It's a pitcher's job to strike you out. It's just how freely it happens nowadays. How batters strike out 30 to 40% of the time, and they wear it like a badge of honor. They don't care. When I was in Little League, when I was in high school, I struck out, I was embarrassed. I didn't like making it out regardless, but if I struck out, I was really embarrassed. Because at that point, I felt like I didn't do my job at all. Not every pitch is going to be a base hit. Not every pitch is going to be a home run. But striking out, that's obviously part of the game, but it's just the way they don't care how it's done today. They just don't care. So I don't know. It just it kind of sucks to me that players just don't care. And like I said, it's when you're down 6-0 and you're swinging for the fences in the 7th inning, or you swing at the first pitch. You're down 3-0, leading off an inning, and you swing at the first pitch. You don't even try to work the count. You can't hit a 3-run home run with nobody on base. I just don't understand it. I don't get it. I'll just bring us some comments here for like the last 5 minutes. But I just want to say, hey, man, I appreciate you guys, girls, tuning in. I know it's early on a Saturday. I do plan on doing this every week, talking about the Yankees. And obviously, they're not off to a good start whatsoever. 5-8 is pathetic. They're last in the American League East, and they look like a beaten team. This team shows no life. This team doesn't. That's the thing. This team is the same team it's been for 3 years. That's why when people say it's early, it's not early. A leopard can't change his spots. Can't teach an old dog new tricks. This team is what it's been for 3 years. A team that will beat up on bad pitching and put up good numbers against bad pitching, but at the end of the day, they don't play winning baseball in the playoffs. Paul O'Neill says it every year. Analytics don't win in the playoffs. They just don't. They don't win there. Analytics are a nice tool. You can use them for certain things. You can use them to set your lineup up. You can use them to shift in the infield. I get it. You can use analytics. I'm not saying they're completely useless. But at the end of the day, they don't win baseball games. Hitting home runs, only hitting home runs, does not win baseball games. Playing the game the way it's supposed to be played, putting the ball in play, moving runners over, sacrificing, doing the little things in baseball are what wins ball games. The 1998 Yankees won 114 regular season games. They won the World Series. They were 11-2 in the postseason. So they won 125 games. Not one player on that Yankee team hit more than 28 home runs. Tino Martinez led that team with 28 home runs. That team won 125 games in a World Series. And then they won the next 2 World Series after that. Why? Because they scored runs when they had to, and they played fundamental baseball. That was how they did it, not with home runs. Team did it by timely hitting, situational hitting, and doing the little things. Hitting the ball to the right side with a guy in second and nobody out. Hitting a sacrifice fly. Bunting the man over. Stealing a base when it's necessary. Going first to third on a single. Little things that may not show up in the box score that win ball games. Jeff, thanks so much, man. I appreciate it, brother. Billy says, when did Cashman decide to build a team that swings for the fences? Judge Dan Sanchez, Voight Torres, no fundies baseball. Great channel, by the way. Hey, Jeff, thank you, man. I appreciate that. He built that because the analytical team tells him to build it that way. Somebody told me the Dodgers are one of the most analytical teams in baseball. That may be true. The Dodgers don't strike out 35% of the time as a team. The Dodgers aren't hitting 222 as a team. They're not. The Dodgers play the game the correct. Does Tampa Bay have the greatest talent in the American League? Of course they don't. You look at their lineup, you look at the Yankees lineup, you look at the Dodgers lineup. No. You look at that lineup and go, well, Tampa ain't got the horses the Yankees and the Dodgers do. I shouldn't even use the Dodgers because the Dodgers won the World Series. My point is, you can look at Tampa Bay's lineup and say they don't have the horses Minnesota does. They don't have the horses the Yankees do. They don't have the horses the Red Sox do. They don't have this. But they made the World Series. Why? Because they played fundamental baseball. That's why they're there. Because the way they play the game is how you win. The 2018 Red Sox, you could say that they cheated. That's fine, but the Red Sox hit with men on base. In our series, the Yankees hit, I think they hit 130. The Yankees hit like 154 runners in scoring position. The Red Sox were 16 for 36 runners in scoring position against us in 2018. We lost a 5-game series. The Yankees had ample opportunities in the bottom of the 9th inning many times against the Red Sox, and they came up short every time. It's not how you win in the playoffs. Home runs are nice. Home runs don't win you World Series. And in New York, you are judged by what you do in the postseason. Whether that's fair or not, that is how it is when you put on the pinstripes. That is how it'll always be. The Yankees have won 27 championships. As I said, they're the most historical franchise in the history of sports. And when you put the pinstripes on, you're expected to do a job here. And when you don't, and I didn't even get to talk about it today because we're going to end this because, like I said, I'm going to keep these an hour. You see how the fans reacted last night. Now, I'm not condoning what they did, but you can see their frustration. That's not how you win baseball games. It's not how you play baseball in New York. Fans expect you to win. They don't care how you win, but they expect you to win. You don't need to hit home runs. We don't care about home runs. We care about W's. We don't care about statistics. We care about wins. That's all that matters here in New York. And like I said, fair or not, when you put on the pinstripes, you know damn well your job is to win playoff games and win World Series. It's not to put up empty statistics in the middle of August. It's just how it is. So I'm going to end it on that note, guys. Again, I just want to say thank you all so much for being here today. I really do appreciate it. This should be a weekly thing. I enjoyed ranting. So next time, obviously, I'll probably take more questions from the chat and everything else and all this stuff. Next week, maybe in the future, I'll have some people come on here and we can discuss things maybe like the last 15 minutes or something. I'll have a guest on or something. We're just trying to figure this out. But I do want to grow this show. I would like to talk Yankee baseball every week. And like I said, I'll get more involved in the chat next time. I just had a lot to go over because it was 2 weeks of baseball. And, so we'll see. Rolly, thanks so much, brother. Billy, do you think we need to rebuild this team? Rolly, I think they just need different people in the front office and the manager. I think they need an old school baseball manager. I think it starts there. I think that they got to get rid of guys like Aaron Hicks and Gary Sanchez. They got to get rid of those guys. Like I said, you have a Judge and a Stanton on your team. I can live with a Judge and a Stanton, but you can't have a team full of Judges and Stantons. And you certainly can't have a Jay Bruce on the team, which I didn't get into Jay Bruce either. But that's why I like these hour shows, because we can talk about it again next week. So I'm going to get out of here. Guys, girls, thank you so much for watching. And again, I'll be live probably 12:50, 12:55 for the Yankees and Rays today. So if you want to come in, we can talk more about it there. And if I don't see you, hey, enjoy the rest of your Saturday. We'll see you next time. So I think this went over pretty well. Thank you guys and girls for listening. I really do appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bad diggity dizzle, and I am gone. Peace.